Right. Let's see. Such a shit show already. I don't even know how this shit works.
Ah. Ooh.
I think I kind of lost the link of the thing
That's
we
a
had.
set of quit talking. But oh no. The problem is I'm supposed to have nested, and nested is supposed to be live too. None of those things seems to be
So
happen.
I don't know. Maybe he crashed.
No.
Oh,
I'm
no.
good.
You're on. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm
Hello,
good.
good sir.
All right. Let me just give me a second.
No problem.
How is this shit even working? It's not like shared chat. Is this okay? It's okay. I already see it.
Yep.
Okay. Good. I'm on the right seat. Excellent. I'm dropping frames. That's not excellent.
Oh, you're on 5G internet right now.
No, I'm not. I actually have cable, but it's just bad. It seems.
Internet doesn't get better.
I don't even know why it's so bad. Am I downloading something? I don't think so.
It just like pause the porn download for 5 minutes. It's fine.
I'm not downloading anything. Nothing is going on here. This is mental. I see it's mental. Is it? Wait. Okay, it's getting better. No dropped frames anymore. It's getting better.
Ooh, impressive.
Excellent. We dropped all the frames that we had. The drop, it's all Gucci now.
I think that if you select in the option to turn on the camera, then I can see your camera instead of seeing just like your avatar. But you do you.
Should be better now.
That works. I just see a still JPEG of you looking concerned, but I think that will do.
It's so scuffed. It's better now. Shit.
Let me see if I have a different JPEG.
Is it better now? Oh.
Is it good now?
No.
And now?
How about this?
How about this?
It doesn't get any better than this. To be honest, it doesn't.
Does it?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that goes hand in hand with the first thing that we're going to talk about, which is really broken, and the subject of the jour, or the starter of or quit talking, will be talking about Hawk Tuah scam.
Hell yeah.
So just a quick recap for the people that were completely out of the loop. So Haley, the Hawk Tuah girl, decided to create a cryptocurrency. Like every influencer that doesn't respect themselves. And of course, scam their entire audience out of millions of dollars. So, Nested, what is your take on the situation? And do you spit on that thing?
No, I did not spit on that thing. I think it's actually quite common nowadays because when you become big, then what you're gonna do? You're gonna make your own shitcoin. I mean, what else you should do, right? I don't know why my camera is still so messed up. Like, why can't I get this? Like, seriously.
Dude, you went in a rave for a few seconds.
But anyways, what I think about the situation, I think it was not the best move because it's only like very very fast cash. Because now like all the reputation is basically ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
she had a good thing going on. Like she was like even praised of being like this nice new upcoming celebrity or like influencer that is like donating money to the charities and pets and animals and whatever, all that kind of good stuff. But now it went so bad, as you can see on the graph. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean they pumped and dumped. That's not exactly what they signed up for when they imagined. I'm guessing that the audience imagined a different pump and a different dump.
But what do you mean?
The timing was good, man. The timing was very, very fucking good. No, yeah,
Yeah.
but as you say, it's just like the situation is also well. Obviously, she's an idiot. Obviously, she doesn't necessarily know what she's doing, and most probably she's going to be also dragged into the court system and be sued by people because that's technically illegal. That's technically defrauding people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were mentioning what to do if you're a celebrity and you want to capitalize on that. And you have a lot of people that started, producing their own games or their own products which are linked to it, which is not necessarily of bad quality, right? But then you can use your platform in order to try to get people interested in the product. But most of the people have a product to sell, right? In her case, she has no talent, and the only reason that she became popular is because people made fire memes, right? She has no skill of her own.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like, if you like, the main thing is like, I don't know why, but it's because many celebrities who are like getting big very fast, or like even actors, they have this like thing going on, but they don't really know about the sub products and so on. So they just like get like dragged into different kind of like products and so on, and they just like are going to start advertising and promoting something they don't even like really care about, or like even they don't even know about that stuff. And that's why usually the celebrity brands and the products are like super bad,
Yeah, but that attaches itself a bit to the Mr. Beast situation and all those type of extra franchises, etc.
Yeah.
Which they basically use their notoriety in order to promote shit which is not necessarily good, neither for the audience or just a good product in absolute, right? Because most of the people were very disappointed with a lot of the Beast product that came out, and now with the new scam lunchbox from KSI Logan Paul.
I think that was already
It's still-
discontinued, right?
Is it
Yeah.
already?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, because it started to mold, and it's gone.
Oh.
Done and dusted with that one.
Holy shit! Wait,
Yeah.
I need to check that live.
That's dead.
So Lunchables, Mr. Beast.
So I have some people in here. So after this topic, that when we finish, the sun is leaking situation, we can talk about that as well. I think that's the next topic we're gonna talk about. Anyways, me becoming super famous.
Yes.
For a few minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
The amazing sun is leaking.
Yeah.
The overcharge incident. So let's get on to this, because that is obviously nuts.
It is
so
super
for
nuts.
people that are a little bit out of the loop, You have mods for Half-Life, which are usually huge, but recently, thanks to the Half-Life 2 anniversary, you have access in one click on the workshop to most of the Half-Life 2 mods. In one single click, you subscribe, bam, you get the mod, which is
Yeah.
cool. But at the same time, that exposed people to a lot of quote-unquote legacy mods or things that got ported to the workshop very, very quickly. And one of the things that got ported is basically Half-Life 2 Overcharged. A mod which is supposed to be a conversion that improves highly on Half-Life. Turns out that's not really improving, and several YouTuber, and here I'm showing the video by Radiation Hazard, actually tested the mod and actually had a negative outcome of playing it, saying, well, this is not really good.
Yeah.
But what happened is the developer decided to retaliate in a weird fashion by banning content creators. And some of the content creators that they banned were big, actually.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like,
but-
well, it doesn't make sense, but like it makes sense. But I think
Because
the-
they're big.
Yeah, because they're big and they have like influence over it. But the main thing, like, which is so crazy about that is, well, the list only had 4 names in it. One of which was me. Basically a nobody. Especially when it comes to Half-Life 2. Like, and the main thing is the people who were also banned or blacklisted in that case, they were actually giving like constructive criticism. So they were actually like one of the biggest like marketeers as well. So it's like in every aspect it was like the dumbest thing you can do, because first you are getting, well, the backlash, and second is you are also killing the people who have such high reach, like Rad has, and what was no click,
No click.
and like they have like 100k subs basically each, and their videos get like 50 dude like 200k views, so they have like massive reach. Like people wouldn't even know about their mod if it wasn't for those people, and they're just like getting rid of that, like those people. Like, you know, banning me is just funny. I think that's just funny, to be honest.
It's just surrealistic, because it's so you create a mod and then you spend your time just finding a random guy, because in that context that's what happens, right? You're a random guy that made like a video which was actually not that super critical about the mod even.
No.
You said, well, okay, some things is funny, but it's not too great, right?
Yeah.
But you know, your thing, you said that's an okay meal. That was basically your takeaway when we watch your video. And then the guy goes and bans you. And what I find crazy also is the people that got banned. So Radiation Hazard, No Click, to cite just a few.
Well, there were only few.
But people that were, but my point here is just like those people were willing to give the mods also a second chance, meaning that they wanted those things to succeed and they wanted to see the developers succeed. And at that point, they just like killed every single ounce of goodwill that any part of the community would have towards them. And also maybe highlighted a thing which is a little bit more concerning to an extent. Well, we already know that with games on Steam that you need to be still a little bit careful, because you could have malware on some of them, or the next crypto miner for Hawk2A coins. But
those are pretty limited. 97% of the stock were kept by the developers, so you can fight for the 3%.
I mean, they're smart. They are smart people, man. They just like they spat on that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like the worst marketing move that you can imagine. But
Yeah.
a very good marketing move for you.
Yeah. For me, that was good. Like because like it like you said before, like I don't even like I wasn't even that happy about like getting all the new subscribers. Like I've now gotten like 300 extra like new subscribers, new people following me on YouTube, and getting like 2.5k views, like about 2,000 extra views on the original video as well. I'm not even like that excited about that, but it's just to be featured in like Radhat's video was like something that made me shit bricks essentially. Because when I saw that, I was like, is this a joke? Like, is this real? Because like first of all, it's something I did 2 years ago. Like everything about the video, about like me being on cam and like all that is much more scuffed than it is today. And it's just some like very, very old kind of video basically. And it was actually not even very, very long video. It was only 4 minutes, which is, it was pretty sloppy video compared to most of the videos, because there are many videos that are like 10 minutes with more effort and so on. But it's, the Half-Life 2 Overcharge mod, it was just so bad that there wasn't anything to do with that. You know what I mean?
It's not good. And just to quote some brilliant YouTubers, the sun is leaking. Yeah, it's so surrealistic to me also, because okay, even in absolute, you release your game or you release your mod, you must have played the shit.
Yep.
You know that it's shit. I mean, there's no fucking way that you're going to play and going to go, damn, this is genius. I like this. It's just like there is absolutely no way, if you have actually spent your time developing, and as you're developing, normally you test if things are working right.
Yeah.
So, and there are so many glaring issues in there that I'm still wondering how did they think for a second that would go not unnoticed but smoothly.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the mod has potential, and like everyone who played the mod were also like agreeing with that it has potential, right? But it had
Some
many.
of the ideas were good.
Yeah. But like the funny thing about like me getting banned also is because I'm not like a Half-Life 2 streamer or like YouTuber or like content creator. Like I have played Black Mesa, I have played some mods which were great and I did enjoy them. I have played Half-Life 2 on stream as well, I think. I don't know if it was the mod or the real game as well. But anyways, like I always liked Half-Life as a whole. I'm not a big fan of Half-Life 2. There are many things that I don't like about the game, but that doesn't matter, right? Right now, I can elaborate very long. I could rant about Half-Life for days to come. But the funny thing is, I was like ranting mostly about Half-Life 2, not even about the mod. But the mod is affected because the mod didn't make this game better. Necessarily, and that's the main gripe that everyone kind of has. Like everyone says this is a shit mod because it doesn't make the game better. If you played Half-Life 2 in like 20 years ago, then obviously it was good. But when you play Half-Life 2 20 years later, then it's 20 years old. It still holds up, but it's 20 years old.
Oh, there are things that have changed, of course, and I mean there's a point which is important with Half-Life in general, I think, and it's the way that it kind of changed a lot of things. And I mean, everybody must have seen the no clip, but not no clip documentary. So if you guys remember, Valve actually commissioned Danny. I'm going to butcher his name, Danny Odower, I think, from NoClip, in order to make 2 documentaries. One documentary about Half-Life 1 and one documentary about Half-Life 2. And during that documentary, they mentioned something that I kind of forgot. Well, obviously saw it at the time, but I forgot how mind blowing it was. And that was the E3 demo for Half-Life 2. And what they showed there was something which was such a paradigm shift compared to anybody else on the market and what they were doing. That was just mind blowing. You had people queuing for hours just to see that demo. And I still remember seeing, because normally you couldn't, they didn't have like an official video out of that one for showing the people.
Yeah.
And there was just a leak because there's a guy that filmed like 30 seconds of it, and people saw it and already started collectively losing their shit.
Yeah.
And it was something. It was really a pivotal moment in gaming, or
Yeah,
at
that's
least to
true.
get people to perceive. And it's a bit the same thing that happened with Half-Life 1 at the time,
Yeah.
with not cutting for cinematic and having everything in engine and actively happening around. So
Well,
that
that's what I mean with Half-Life games in general.
yeah.
It's I like all the sub projects of Valve like so much more than the Half-Life well, I like Half-Life 1 because first of all the nostalgia googles as well, or goggles.
Yeah.
Those do the trick. And even like when Half-Life 2 came out, then like I've said, and I will stand with that forever. It's like the engine is so good, or was so good, it still holds up, because Source 2 isn't that much like crazier than Source 1, right? Just minor things.
Mhm.
The engine was so super good, and basically I feel like Valve is just making the Half-Life games to showcase the engine, and everything better comes later. Like when Half-Life 2 came out, then Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, Portal, Left 4 Dead, like those games have been like better in terms of gameplay. And when Half-Life Alyx came out, then also the Source 2 showcase was like, that was the best kind of thing. Like, but Half-Life Alyx as a game itself still wasn't that great, because it was very, very boring. Because I did play Half-Life Alyx on stream, I didn't finish it, but it got like,
Yeah.
it was amazing as a VR game for a
Yeah.
bit, because the mechanics, again, the graphics amazing, the way you can interact with the world, all that, like it's like Half-Life Alyx is one of the most complete VR games out there, basically, but it's not necessarily a very, very good game in my opinion.
I have not tried it yet, so I need still to get a VR headset. So also Valve, if you're listening, please release the deck card at some point. I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks, Gibbon. That would be very nice of you, especially if you do it for this Christmas. I'm not going to push you at anything, but think about it. But yeah, so the thing with Alex is, and I think it's the wall of VR also. Alex was one of those AAA games that was kind of needed for VR.
Yeah, that's true.
And I expected people to follow through by making other AAA games that draws people in. And unfortunately, a lot of people have not followed. But the number of VR headset that technically Valve sold with Alex, or at the release of Alex, was absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah, the main thing, I think, because the new VR headsets, or the lack of, is also making the VR market kind of be a little bit staggered. Because right now, if you look at Valve Index, it's still 1,089 euros, unless it goes for sale like a few hundred off or so. But right now, Index is like 5 years old, if not even more.
Yeah.
So why will you spend premium price on a 5-year-old technology? So I feel the
Correct.
only way VR can be resurrected again is if someone releases a new VR headset that's better. So there's more life to this whole environment again. Like it could be like the same like Oculus, or it's Meta now, or like one of those big guys who makes a very mainstream kind of headset, like Intex was. We have some niche ones, but they are not really making the market better. You know what I mean? They're not really
Yeah.
pushing the game industry in this regard. Because I know there are some like 4K and 8K and whatever kind of K headsets that cost like ridiculous sums of money, but they are not pushing the market. Valve can push the market, and Meta can push the market, and even with the third one, which was I don't remember, they can also do that. But right now, it seems like no one is actively developing new VR headsets. It seems Apple did, but that
Well,
was for like
apart
yeah.
from Valve, that's the thing. And there was actually, you know, there was always the question of, and you mentioned it, of price of entry for VR, right? Because there was always that perception that you needed to have like a very big machine that had a lot of power in order to be able to do things. And not only that, but you needed, you know, stations and a lot of things in order to make it run. And this is kind of my hope for the decade. If it acts as a mostly standalone item that you can just like use with intuitive controls, like the knuckle controllers that they have right now, but the updated version of it. That could be actually, and if the price point is correct, and this is where the whole question will be, is what will be the price point of those type of items? Because this
Yeah.
is where Meta managed with the Quest 3 to be competitive and to have
Mhm.
something also that was just, you were wearing a computer on your eyes, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing was relatively inexpensive, right? So
True.
most of the teenagers were getting those things because they were not too expensive, and then they didn't need to spend too much on games and other things that came with it. So
Yeah.
um,
Right now, I don't think the VR market is like really worth it at all. There hasn't been any new super cool games. There are like still some niche games coming out. Like right now, when we speak market, then I don't know why anyone will make a VR game. It's
yeah, because everybody's on VR chat in like weird, you know, cat girl dancing rooms.
I mean,
That's
this
pretty
works
much the
because like you have some like games like that, some niche games that have already
Mhm.
most of the player base. So making a VR game now is basically like that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why Valve is actually like a very nice company and sometimes very bad company, because all the random shit they do is usually
Yeah.
very successful. Like the VR thing, it's so a random thing to do, right? But they actually did not even care about making that much money. They just like tried to push the envelope a little bit, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
that's the same thing with all those games, and that's why they haven't made Half-Life 3 as well. But like the main thing is, if you're like an indie developer and you make a VR game, it's basically a waste of money, I think, in so many cases. Because, first of all, the market is very niche. Like, I've seen
Mhm.
some, like, conferences or what, I don't know, you know, where they showcase new VR games, and I'm like, alright, that's cool. I'm never gonna play that because I had a VR headset, but, like, I sold it, so. And I haven't got a new one because there's no, alternative to get right now. So I'm waiting for a new
Yeah.
one to maybe come out and so on. But it's still like uh, it's a very difficult market. I wouldn't do that. But that said, when coming back to the Half-Life Overcharge thing, that's what it
Yeah.
basically was supposed to do. It was supposed to make something old, something good, and make it great, which it completely failed at because if you watch my old video, basically, then I'm
Mhm.
saying like this is boring, that's bad, and so on and so forth. And
Yeah.
the funniest thing is when anyone else talks about that, when the sun is leaking for anyone, literally anyone else, when you
Mhm.
watch Radhaz or watch the
Yeah.
No Click or whoever, right? Those
Mhm.
people live, they breathe Half-Life. You know, they're the
Yeah.
gurus of Half-Life. They're the masters. They know
Yeah.
everything, every crack of this game, and I can understand when those people are critical. But me, I came in again to Half-Life 2, expecting something great, but like not that great because I don't really have that high expectations. When it's fun, when it's good, that's all I really need because I'm this very entry level customer basically without any expectation. And the last time I played Half-Life 2 was like, I don't know, 5 or 10 years prior. So I didn't even remember how the game is supposed to be, and it was still so
Yeah.
lacking in every single department. And that's why I said Half-Life 2 Overcharge is a mess, because I came in with no Scheiße. Expectations. Shit, I don't know. Expectations. And I was still let down. Like heavily let down.
Always expecting nothing, and I still got let down.
Yeah. Looney says, oh, Shinobi wants
Yeah,
Half-Life
yeah.
3. Looney, what you want?
Yeah, Shinobi is just like I'm going to come back in that one on that one very quickly. But yes, our reporter on the ground, Looney, was mentioning that mostly they are staring at themselves in the mirror for hours. That's what the cat girls are doing. So thank you for our reporter on the ground, Looney, in VR chat right now.
Yeah, thank you very much for this quick piece of information regarding what's happening in the VR chat.
It's just like I should have like graphics breaking news from VR chat
Coming from the trenches.
directly.
Ladies
but
and
yeah,
gentlemen, we have some important news coming from the VR chat underground, the worst servers you don't want to see. People are watching themselves in front of the mirror for hours. Back to you, Oda.
Yeah, it's just like VR imitating life.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's also the question of the comfort of those VR headsets. But to an extent, that's what I hope will change with the decade. But I want to come back to something that Shinobi said, wanting Half-Life 3. So if you have been a little bit in a loop for the leaky channels, people have started to find kind of hint at a big modification of the Source 2 engine. So in the development branch, you can actually follow a bit what they are doing. And there start to be a lot of insertion of actually system that were rumored to be for a game that they were supposed to release in between Half-Life 2 and Half-Life Alyx, which was not a Half-Life related title. But they started to introduce all those systems that seem to be very interactive systems. And people have had a lot of chatter that this might be for the upcoming Half-Life 3. So now I don't know if this is going to realize, but I'm staying cautiously optimistic. I'm kind of excited. I don't know how Nested you feel about that.
You know, whenever a Half-Life title comes out, I will play it regardless what I think about Half-Life 2. But I
thought
think
that you were going to say even if I go bankrupt.
even if I go bankrupt. But it's
I had to sell the house, but I bought the new headset from Valve.
I mean, but I wouldn't get my hopes up that much, because I think it might be like another like VR title, to be honest. There were rumors about that as well, so
we'll see. We'll see.
well, we've been watching for 15 years now, if not even longer, 17 years.
So, but that's one of the things that Gaben touched in the documentary, which one needs to take that with always a grain of salt, right? Because it's kind of an advertisement.
And when you get too hyped, Valve is gonna be like, "All right, guys, piss off. We are now canceling it because you were too hyped."
Yeah, and I mean,
you read too much between the code, too much between the lines. you know,
just
we're
like
gonna
it.
read this.
Chill, guys.
Yeah,
Guys.
yeah.
Whatever happens,
So-
it's just like Valve can't count to 3. That
Yep.
has been already very established. But the thing is, it's good to be also not overhyping things. So when you see the stuff, you're actually pleasantly surprised.
Pretty good.
What I usually do personally is each time there's a title I'm really excited about, I absolutely read nothing about it, and then watch the reviews, see if it's just like a big flop, and decide if I buy it or not. And then I buy it and I play it blind, because this is the way it should be.
Keep your expectations low and you will never be disappointed. Well, I will disagree because I had
Hashtag
no
baiting.
I had no expectations when playing Half-Life Overcharged.
Overcharge.
And I was still disappointed.
And the sun was still leaking, brother. The sun
It
was
wa-
still leaking.
It was still leaking. Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, if anyone has like on YouTube, like because some people are now I'm super famous, right? And everyone comes to see my stream only to see the sun leaking, right? So, anyways, if you guys have any questions regarding this shit, then you can always let me know, and I will answer them. I see the YouTube chat as well. The main,
It's just like
yeah,
it's ready for fan mail.
I'm
You
ready
can
for
send
fan mail.
panties also if you have some.
Sorry, what? Wait, what?
I like that you agreed and then you would what? The first agreement before realizing what I said.
Yeah, there were like many questions like, did I get like malware or something like that? And I would like to address this as well, like because I think the developers itself, like obviously this is like blown out of proportion as well. It's drama after all. Me as someone who doesn't even really care about this incident too much, I can just give
Yeah.
my like 2 cents. It's like. Obviously, it's a very, very shitty thing to do. Someone's calling me. Oh,
Yeah, no problem. I can feel.
no, that was you.
That was me?
Yeah, from Discord.
What?
No, I guess you got
thought
you got the malware.
I'm not even calling you.
Yeah, you were calling me on my phone.
I'm
Anyways,
not calling you.
what I wanted to say is like, I think the developers are just like dumb enough that they just like out of spite wanted to blacklist people from accessing the game. I don't think there was any other like more like criminal ideas behind this snippet of code. I don't think they ever wanted to like and they haven't like I still have my Steam inventory. I don't think I have any malware. I don't see any crypto miners on my task manager running mining the Haktua coin. I'm good, right? So I don't think like the developers are necessarily like evil. They're just kind of stupid for doing it. You know what I mean? So I don't think we should like just try to demonize them in this kind of way. And I've heard some people say that they should never pick up the Hammer engine ever again, and they can just like be completely. I don't know how to say that, but like be
Excommunicated from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
communities.
I don't think that's necessarily the case, to be honest, because if they will like publicly apologize and fix their shit and own up to what they did, I think we should like just villainize them and like that.
No, I agree with you there, but that's the part which is missing here.
Yeah.
It's just like they never went forward and said, "Hey, okay, we fucked up." And
Yeah.
as I was watching recently how you call that? Basically a mod. But there was a really weird mod for Half-Life 2, which had actually a lot of sexualized content added for Alex in the game,
Right.
but like very randomly. And so my first thought was just like, oh yeah, okay, that's a little bit scuffed. That's a horny teenager that added some stuff. Everybody does like dumb shit. And then the guy making the video just reveals that, yeah, the developer is actually 45 years old. And I was just like, okay, he has passed the teenage years a little bit. And as soon as it said 45, dude, I erupted in laughter because I was just like, God damn. It's just like, I was ready to give benefit of the doubt, but now it's just like, that's a bit too much, man.
I mean, guys just learned how to do mods, and just that's the first instinct he went for.
I mean, it's just like most of the mods that it's just like that's the danger. Like Baldur's Gate 3 mods, it's just like you see all the mods, and there are some that are quality of life, and then you just scroll, one page or just like click to the second page, and already you are in the Futa territory. That's basically what happens.
And that's like, not that's why, but in general, I don't really play mods, to be honest, because I like the vanilla
Yeah.
experience. Like to me,
Oh, you like it vanilla?
Yeah. Like, like basically, I like vanilla because it's. I feel like the developers intended to do that, and if I change something, then it's like borderline cheating. So that's why I don't really use mods unless it's quality of life that just like fixes the game itself. Like, even if it gives you extra backpack space or whatever, then that's also cheating in my eyes when it comes to gaming. And that's why I don't really use mods. Unless I have already finished the game, then it's okay, But I feel like the first playthrough should be as intended, because everything else is either making the game easier or, Do you mod Minecraft? No, I don't. I don't even play Minecraft. And I tried modded Minecraft once when I hosted a server, and I don't know. It didn't add much. I don't really care. I only played vanilla Minecraft mostly.
I think it depends but again, that's a point that you were making, and I think it is important. Is you have mods that fundamentally modify your experience with the game,
Yeah.
and I think that every gamers owe it to the developer, at least to play the game as it is intended to be played once, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you want to speedrun or do other stuff, but do your hard content, break that shit open because it's fun and it shows passion. But the first time, there is artistic intent behind it. Well, okay, sometimes you can question like in the case of Overcharged, but people actually try to give you something. So at that point, you need to make an effort also on your side to at least accept the little tidbits that they are trying to give you, right?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, if anyone wants to play a modded version of the game, I mean, that's basically like, if we are like overanalyzing this, then it's like, do what you want because you paid for the game, it's your game, and but like, technically you could say if you play the game on easy mode, then it's also not intended to be played that way, when we are gonna stretch this thing, because like, if you're saying like you should only play the game on the hardest,
man.
yeah, only the hardest difficulty, the way it was meant to be played, right? You could stretch that as well, but so like,
okay, because otherwise you could go into, oh no, I'm not going to make my game accessible because it's only meant for the hardcore player, which is not colorblind, can see an enemy at 300 meters and speaks with the ghost of all the fallen enemies that he has sodomized or whatever the fuck. But I guess I get what you mean.
Yeah, like you can play your game how you want, but like, just like, for me personally, it's like I only play games that are like unmodded, unless it's a content mod. Like, if it's like, I don't remember, was it the Half-Life 2 mod, the Entropy of something?
Oh yeah, Zero Entropy.
Yeah, that game was like 100% different, so everything goes because it's a different game.
But I think that let's do a parenthesis and a huge shout out to Zero Entropy and Zero Entropy 2. They're accessible on Steam right now, and that's a high quality mod that I recommend everybody to play. I've not played entirely through it, but so it's still something that I need to do at some point, maybe on stream. But it's high quality. If you like mods, check those ones out.
Yeah, even I liked it, so that tells you something.
Damn, it's just like that's the
Yeah.
highest recommendation.
Yeah, that's like 6 out of 5.
A perfect 5 out of 7.
If because like even I played it for like 20 minutes. Well, not the video is 20 minutes, and I played it from start to finish. It's also filled with memes.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself a shout
So
out right there.
that is Entropy Zero. Yeah. Give yourself shout out.
But it was actually good. Like, it had some moments where it was like, but all in all, it was a great mod. It was very, very fun,
Yeah.
and that's actually like a modern take on Half-Life 2. They used the old engine, they added some new cool stuff, and it was very good. It was very good, to be honest. It was something that you expect from a mod for Half-Life 2 in 2022 or like 2024, whatever. It was really good.
But it feels almost like getting back in time, I would say, because if you remember, um, so there was the debacle of the DLCs, etc. But at one point in time, we had like an explosion of mods where everybody was doing mods for everything and nothing, right?
Yeah.
And when you had like downloadable content, that was an extra CD that you had to order or go buy, put in your computer, and then install whatever extra things that you needed, and that was giving you meat on the bone instead of having now DLCs that are sold sometimes for premium and do not add too much. Like, I'm not looking at you, Starfield, but I'm kind of looking at you, Starfield, with something which is very expensive and gives you like maybe 3 missions or something like that.
Well, let's
so
look at
that's-
Space Marine 2 then.
Oh, let's go, man. Okay, now we're talking shit about DLCs.
Yeah,
we
when
can-
we are
we can do
talking
that.
shit about DLCs, yeah, like I got the Ultra Edition for 100 euros, and what
Yes.
did I get? I got slapped in the face.
Yeah. Quite much. Let's go there then. Because we played Space Marine 2
Yeah.
entirely from stop to finish on stream. We spent was it a full Saturday? That
Yeah,
was
we
right.
did the whole day. We played like 12 hours or something. Wait, 8
Yeah,
hours
we
straight.
did.
Oh, like, I
We
don't
did
know,
like a
something
fucking
silly.
marathon on that one.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
We started like 2
Uh.
p.m. and finished like 1 or 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
And let's be clear, we enjoyed our time in the
Yeah,
game. The game is actually solid.
yeah, the game itself is good. But the DLC was not worth it at all because the season pass is basically useless. It like when I bought the Ultra Mega Pack, like I was expecting that I get the season pass that has like some additional content, like expansions and shit like that, some story content, you know.
Yeah.
I understand you can't have missions and stuff like that because those are like reserved for the co-op purposes and so on. Like I don't even know what I expected, but then you shouldn't sell a season pass or like because usually season pass means you get extra missions and shit like that, which is not the case with Space Marine 2. You
And
just get
actually
skins.
Yeah, that's a thing. But because there is 2 part, so you have one DLC that is available only with the Ultra Oiler edition of Space Marines 2, where you directly have the skins. But for the normal DLC, you just get extra paints, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
and extra emblems. But you still need to grind the game in order to unlock those, which feels wrong to an extent.
Yeah.
Because if you have like extra things, I wish that, well, if you pay for them, I wish that it were unlocked from day zero.
I think the like the most ideal way of doing that would have been if you give like the base, like let's say you have like this armor skin, so you just give like this
Yeah.
like a rookie kind of armor. You know what I mean? And then with
Yeah.
additional levels and grind, you can make it like even more badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you make it like shiny with LEDs.
Yeah, you add
You
some
use like
emblems, some
RGB
yeah. So you still like
instead
have
of
the
having the
grind
Lego
thing.
version of yeah.
Yeah, because if you just give like the best shit ever for the people who pay money, then it also eliminates the
Sure.
grind aspect of the game entirely, and the late game is actually just meant for grinding essentially.
Oh no, but it's just like my point is the you should have like a kind of a cool thing that can be upgraded, but you should still have cool stuff that people can grind playing the game normally.
Yeah, like
That's for me,
uh,
which is the best thing. And it's just like you show your support, right? You're a supporter of the thing, so you can get like an
yeah,
extra little thing.
yeah, like that's what I mean. Like if you have like some super badass armor and so on, then you couldn't have you could have like some base version of that you just can upgrade, and some of the emblems and paintings, that shit could be free. You know, like unlocked from the start.
Yeah,
That I can agree with. Like having to grind for everything is like, bro, I paid money for it, and
a little bit
also
too much.
yeah, and the super edition also is like you had 4 day
Way more expensive.
yeah access to the game, and then you
Yeah.
just got like a skin that's like kinda okay, but like you can only use it on one class, and you can't make any changes to the painting,
Yeah.
which was
Which
very
then
very
makes the
big
thing a
letdown.
little bit rough on the wallet, to be honest. And since you're talking about season pass, there was also in the news Valve actually technically talking about the fact that they changed their rules around season pass. So now, if you're going to put a season pass on um, the Steam store, you need to have extra requirements in order to make sure that the thing is going to be within certain rules and not lie blatantly about the content of it.
Yeah,
And there is also a certain amount of time that you can advertise things to be integrated in the season pass. But if they go above, so let's say that it needs to be within a year, I think. So if it's just like if it has been delayed for 2 years, but they already took your money, too bad. Now they need to refund you
yep.
for the value of the season pass, which I think is a good move on Steam because this is pro consumer
Yeah.
and we are consumers, so it's pro me. Yes, fuck yes.
I mean, that's very, very good because there are a list of games that have already failed with this thing. And even Stalker 2 is one of those games that is basically promising you something vague. And that's the reason
Yeah.
why I didn't get Stalker 2 DLC, like the season pack edition, because I didn't want to get scammed
Mhm.
again. I just got the base version, and
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet. I plan to do it, but I haven't done it yet. But it's so scuffed that like back in the day when games came out with DLC, you usually got like okay DLC. But now even the
Yeah.
DLC season passes have like gone downhill, like very very sloppy. And I think they are just like doing that on purpose because people are used that if you get a game and you get the season pass, you support the devs and you are going to get something okay out of it, usually every time. But
Yeah.
because people are used to getting something good out of it every time, they are now just like doing this very predatory thing that they just are giving you nothing and hope you forget about the DLC was never gonna be released.
Yeah, that you spend money for it, but now it's long gone. So by that time, you've forgotten already that you were owed something,
yeah, and
which is a bit the main problem
Yeah.
of those type of practices. Because in the end, it feels like a bait and switch almost. And especially
just
for some
hope that you're gonna forget that there's something extra coming. Like, many people buy the game like lucky if they finish it once, and super lucky if they wait for the extra content. Even if they pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like they go, oh, yeah, good. I had my money's worth. I just spent, 100 euros on this thing. It's good. I played 3 hours of it. I do not need to refund it. That's what the devs want,
Yeah,
basically. Well, not all of them, let's be honest.
most of them.
And it's mostly the publisher, not necessarily the devs.
Depends who's like. Sometimes you have the same guy publishing the same thing, or
Yeah,
developer
well,
and the publisher the same thing. Coming back to that, like it's a very like
Yeah.
good thing Valve did.
yeah.
Yes, that's good. But one thing that like really grinds my gears is Valve is also being like glorified too much. Because whenever Valve is doing something super scuffed, people are gonna forget about that and move on. When EA does something super scuffed, or Ubisoft, then the whole internet is gonna be on fire. Everyone is like shitting on those companies, which is fair, but it's unfair
Yeah.
that Valve never gets any shit. Because Valve has done so messed up projects that is so
So-
insanely predatory.
Yeah, but for a lot of things, well, I think that you correct. At least if we talk about all the CS skin type of situation,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. This is still something which is just like very very predatory for a swath of the audience. But for the thing that was the most egregious, anti-consumer wise, or could have been, a little bit of a slippery slope. This is where I think that Valve does it much better than anybody else on the market. Is if they see that something is really badly received, like people are up in arms, it doesn't take them 2 to 3 days to revert the thing and apologize and saying, hey, we didn't consider some things. And sometimes it's just like honest mistake to
Are you
an extent.
sure about
Sometimes they
that?
are pushing. The thing is, I don't remember necessarily the controversies because they went away very fast.
Exactly.
Because each time,
no,
each time they apologized
no,
and they
no,
walked
they didn't
back.
do shit.
They apologized and they walked back.
No. Do you know about
Yes, they did.
not the Half-Life, but Valve's Artifact,
Yeah, Artifact was something that they
the
tried.
card game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
And what happened with everyone who spent money on that game? They lost it. They lost more money on Artifact. People lost more money than with the Haktua coin. Because people who invested
come
in
on.
Haktua coin lost 90%. But when you paid for Half-Life, Valve's Artifact, you lost 100%. Because what happened was, Valve made Artifact, and you paid 20 euros to get first deck of cards. And if you wanted to get more cards, you have to play some like ranked mode, and you could only play ranked mode if you bought a ticket. So every time you wanted to play a ranked mode, you had to buy a ticket, which was like a euro or two. So you could not get any extra cards, no way to grind for free, only paid game modes. So it was basically like a slot machine.
Yeah.
So you could only like imagine you play Counter-Strike and you can only play ranked mode if you pay 2 euros.
Yeah. So
No one talked about that. That's the same level as EA wanted to make reloads paid. Like you pay like 5 cents for each reload on your gun. That's basically the same level. No one actually called Valve out on that, really. It was like...
Well, it's because it's because almost nobody played Artifact, right? This is why the thing died overnight. So when you make the difference also, I wouldn't say that it was a rug pull, because Valve actually wanted to make the thing work, but then they saw it was a huge flop, and then they dropped it. Not in the most elegant way.
Actually,
I'll grant you that, but if I'm comparing with older, so where I'm putting a bit the difference here. So you have Artifact that obviously wasn't going to work out because the whole game is based on a multiplayer thing,
and it's based on spending money. That's why it died. So Hearthstone did well because you can grind gold for free. You can pay for decks, and you can spend money that way. But Artifact was pay to play. After
Yeah, but
paying.
Hearthstone also it's because you had the Blizzard cucks that would buy anything that had remotely something that was associated with Blizzard, also, and that you can't really take out of the equation. People spend probably a buttload more on anything Hearthstone related that almost any type of other game that you could imagine.
Well,
It's just like it was ridiculous. It was a money printer, basically.
that's
For Blizzard.
fine. It's okay to print money, but it's not like okay to gatekeep people from playing the game ranked mode. Like, because if every match, it's basically like playing a poker or something, like, but in poker you can also win money, but in a card game like that, well, technically you could also win money because you get cards which you can sell on Steam Marketplace, right? But anyways,
Well, yeah, but you can't extract the money from there,
yeah, so it's you lose,
so
you lose.
you still lose money.
Yeah,
So
it's better to buy
but I
Hack
agree
to a
with you.
coin than to play Artifact. And no one called out them.
Oh man, we should make a poll. It's just like for all the people that bought the Hawk to a coin,
Yeah.
how many of you played Artifact? It's just like, it's a perfect circle that overlaps in between the two communities.
So, and that's one of the things Valve has done. Team Fortress 2, Valve did the man versus machine co-op kind of game mode that only had 3
Coop?
levels. Coop, yeah.
Yeah.
Coop, co-op.
Yeah, okay. Team Fortress 2 is something that, we could spend hours talking about the fact that there were billion hats. And
The
then
hats are
community
fine. The
was
hats
always
are
in
fine.
shambles.
But
No,
it's,
no, no,
the
community
coop
was
mode.
in shambles.
It's the same thing,
Yeah.
and also Left 4 Dead, also abandoned by Valve. And well, let's talk about Team Fortress 2 first, because there's money and scam involved. So basically, if you wanted to
Yeah,
get
but-
some like advanced game like levels with man versus
Sure,
machine,
but
you had to
Nested,
you had
it's
to
just
you
like-
had to pay 99 cents every time you wanted to play those game modes and get something out of that. I think you could play them for free as well, but then you would have no drops when you finished the game. So, and it only had
So-
like three missions that people just were farming.
Yeah, but the thing is, you were talking about Left 4 Dead, etc., that they abandoned support.
Yeah.
It's just like they didn't necessarily abandon the support. It's more like the it's like an online game. At some point, the community kind of dies, right? That's the
That's
same
fine.
thing for the older Battlefield. At some point, where the community just dies around the thing.
Yeah,
And
Left 4 Dead is
those
fine.
games lived much longer than most of the other online games.
That's a different topic a little bit. I agree with that. Left 4 Dead is Left 4 Dead. It's not like money making a scam. But Team Fortress 2 with the tickets, that's a scam. What else I was talking about? Artifact, full scam. Then what else is there? Well, Counter-Strike 2 has some ridiculous passes, full casino gambling mechanics. In every single step you can take is gambling, and no one is calling Valve out for doing some of the most disgusting shit when it comes to monetization. No one does that, and that's what gripes my gears. No one calls out Valve, but everyone shits on Ubisoft and EA for doing the most, like, even for the smallest things. Which is justified, but it's not justified that Valve is never getting called out. And if it does get called out, it's very, very, very short period of time. Like, oh, they did this. Oh, anyways. Gaben is God. Who cares? You know what I mean?
But they should get criticism. And some of the points that you have brought up are very, very fair too. Let me be honest. And So my real problem is I wished that we had a much, 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 much wider competition range with respect to the Steam store, basically.
Yeah.
But the problem is, right now, the Steam store is the only online store which is kind of not dog shit. Are they shooting themselves in the chat?
No, something even worse happened.
What?
Look what was purchased.
Oh fuck. I can. Fuck. Where the fuck am I? Oh shit. 8 plays in the background. Okay, I'm not going to sing this. Shit, I thought that deactivating it would be enough, but okay, I'm going to put back the fuck. It's just like, yeah, it's fine. What do you mean? It's not a scam. It's just like I didn't think that one forward. The thing is, the music is playing in the background at the same time that medieval soundtrack bullshit. Okay. Fuck. Why is your camera your full stream setup? I just realized now on my because it's otherwise it's frozen. Okay, I see. Okay, never mind. This is proper scuff, by the way.
That's what I can do. That's like
That's on brand for us.
that's the best I can do.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. that's on brand. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we don't have another competent shop. And some people would say that the Epic Store is the one that you should go to. But let's face it, Epic is fucking bullshit, is not developer friendly, is not consumer friendly, and they have one of the worst interface that you've ever seen in the history of mankind in order to buy things.
Yeah, it's not good, but I don't think you should like completely avoid playing new games just because it's on Epic. I think that's like a very childish thing to do. And also, it's not very wise to keep all your games in the same place.
It's not that, but it's just like, why am I going to buy the thing on the Epic Game Store where I've like a significantly worse experience running the client, running everything, than having the games in the same ecosystem? It's not because it's a new game on Epic that I'm going necessarily to go, oh no, I'm not going to do that. It's because I see absolutely zero interest of buying a new game in general at full price. That's the real kicker. Because now I'm going to pay 80 euros for a game unless I'm really motivated about it. I have a backlog of, hundreds of games now that I need to go through.
Just
things that are
side note. I'm just asking, can you also enable the virtual camera thing on your side? So on my stream, I see your stream. Like you see my stream.
Yeah.
Maybe like that. Maybe that's better then.
I can do it. I can do that. Is that okay for you? One sec.
Yeah, like Is
that good for you?
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah. So there's like people who are watching my shit can see vaguely what's happening on your side and so forth.
How fucked up. Dude, that looks 10 times more scuffed.
It's infinite.
Because also, yeah, on my stream, I can see your stream. Where you can see my stream, we can see your stream, we can see my... Damn.
Hey, it is what it
That's
is.
quality, right?
It's
quality.
Like, it's not about the technical side of things. And when you think about that, it's actually very technical. But it's not about that. It's about the idea. It's about the feel. You know what I mean?
That feel... Yeah, it feels like you're multi-level marketing selling something right now. It's like, it's not about how good the thing is. It's about how you feel about it.
If Hawk Tua can talk Tua and also sell Hawk, then we can do this scuff shit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel quite safe here. It's just like, It's just oh wait, I should add huge tits on the stream so we can be on par with the Hawk 2 stuff.
Well,
Oh.
feel free to do what you want. That just don't get us banned, right?
But yeah, no, wait, not disrespectfully,
Oh, okay.
respectfully. You know, but yeah. So coming back to the thing that we were talking about, I think that there's a real lack now of online platform in order to be able to sell games and have features a bit like Steam would be offering. Because there is another option that you could go to, which is Good Old Gaming, so GOG.
Yeah, which is a niche
And
of
GOG,
its own. Yeah, it's not a competitor.
GOG has good features and consumer-friendly features, and also the thing with GOG is now they have that preservation program. So the idea is they offer support for all games that even the developer decided not to support anymore.
Yeah, that's good. Like Warcraft 2,
And that
2
one-
remastered, like
Yeah.
GOG, yeah, like preserved forever basically. So because Blizzard released Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2 remastered, they now are going to delist that shit on the OG ones on GOG,
Yeah.
which is a very, very bullshit move because who plays
Correct.
Warcraft 2 online, the problem is that the remastered lacks features that the old 30 years old game has. And that's why the multiplayer community is also playing still the OG Battle.net version of Warcraft 2.
Yeah.
If Blizzard will not like have a bare bones shitty version of that game, no one will actually even care that much.
Yeah.
But because they failed to deliver the most basic of things, like having ally panels where you can ally other people and see what color they are playing, right? If you don't know
Yeah.
Warcraft 2, let me just get this shit on my screen. Warcraft 2 remastered gameplay. So the viewers can also see what's up. So it's an RTS game, and you have different colors when you play, like red, blue, cyan, whatever, right? But it like the remaster version doesn't allow you to see what color anyone is, which is a big like. How do you do that? So when someone disconnects and leaves the game, you can also not understand who left the game, what color left the game. So you might be just like fighting against someone who has already left because the AI takes over when someone leaves, you know? And when you host the game,
You're fighting against somebody that has already left. The
Yeah.
story of my life.
the lights are on, but no one's home.
Dad, when do you bring the milk? Dad?
So, anyways, it's like one of the like easiest features ever. And when you host a multiplayer game, you can kick people. And you even then, when you host the game, you can't see what color they are, so you never know what color anyone is. And because the community where I play, people are usually like, there's one streamer who commentates on games, and like it's this is a new player, you know, doing this and that, and it's also like very interesting and like it's a cool game to play, even though there's only like very limited amount of people playing it, but it's when you are making a remaster of something, like how can a Microsoft, like a $2 trillion company, fail to recreate a 30-year-old game that was initially made by like 6 people?
Yeah, that's a feature bloat. It's not great. But the World Warcraft debacle is really telling. And it talks to game preservation, essentially.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of games that get you have developers that are going to tell you, well, there's the remaster of that game, but it's never like the original.
Yeah, because
Um,
like
some
because
features have disappeared, or yeah.
the main thing is with the remastered shit is like maybe I still have this old PC that still has like I actually do have at my grandparents' place. I do have the computer with CRT screen. It's Pentium 166. It's old school DOS gaming PC, and many games I can download from GOG and just get rid of the GOG DOSBox shit and run the game and play it.
Yeah.
But if I get a remaster version of the game, then it has already those new
I'll do
age
that.
things that prevent me from launching this game from a very old PC. And that basically means I need to get it from
which is a
somewhere else,
problem, right?
you know? They tell
Yeah.
you can't steal and you
And
can't
this is
pirate
why you need
things.
sometimes to sail the hail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to sail the high seas in those type of cases. Which, by the way, I don't think that it's a bad thing, especially if I still have the original game. So back at my parents, I still have a library where I have still the old original boxes of most of the games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I own those shit.
Yeah.
So I find that funny that a developer is going to tell me, "Nah, man, it's just like it's been too long. We ain't gonna do that anymore." It's like, what the fuck you mean, man? That's that's changing the rule of the game, and I'm hoping that you don't alter them further. Which is not good. Not good.
Yeah, with many games, I also have the big box and I have the remastered, I have the Steam version, I have like so many versions of all kinds of games. It's actually pretty dumb if you think about that. Because Warcraft 2 actually got a remaster, like when it was released on GOG, then it actually did, like that was already a
Yeah.
remaster. And now it got this AI 30,
Yeah.
30-year anniversary kind of like remaster that has AI upscale graphics and shit like that. It's like, yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's impressive.
The only main good thing,
Man, I love AI.
yeah. The only good
I
thing
need
about that is
just like,
that
please, man.
they have actually now started to make some updates, like balance updates, which hasn't been done for 30 years now. So I really hope that they are at least going to like have one person who is just like managing the remaster now, and not let it like completely die, and maybe to just add the missing features, because the Warcraft 2 community is still like it's still there, and you should just keep this alive out of respect. I think when you like have so much money to spend, it's not even that expensive to just
Yeah, but I think that's a problem here. It's just like they see it as a cash cow, and they if we need to enter that realm, is Microsoft is bleeding money on the gaming division.
Mm-hmm.
So all the part which is Game Pass is basically losing them a lot of money, because what people use Game Pass for is, oh, cool, I can play the game on Game Pass, and then I wait for the Steam sale, so I get the game permanently for cheap. And then they usually have Game Pass for like 1 month or whatever. So they pay 15 euros. They play like 30 days like ham, and then they don't touch it ever again.
Get a
That's
trial.
what they do when they are really interested in a release.
For €1 you get a trial. Huh? For €1 you can get a trial.
Yeah. Well, if you start like that, you can just like, at the release of the new Indiana Jones, which you can technically play right now if you buy it, but it releases also, I think, is that on the 12th? Maybe.
Game Pass?
I don't remember. The Circle, so the new Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Bethesda
and the Great
one.
Circle.
The new one.
Yeah. Which is developed in Uppsala, by the way.
By who?
The devs are in Uppsala.
Yeah. The Great Circle.
Gear or something.
You can play that on Game Pass tomorrow? What?
I think that it releases on Game Pass day one, but they have the early access one if you buy the stuff.
Oh shit, nice. I'm gonna get that game. I'm gonna play that. It looks
Yeah,
super nice.
that's why I was going to subscribe to Game Pass just to play that one because
To be
I'm
honest,
hot for
I've
indie
been
machine games.
actually
That's machine games.
I've been subbed to Game Pass for way too long now. And I haven't used it
Yeah,
at all.
and-
So I'm like losing money.
Dude,
However, if I play
that's why
if I
I-
play Indiana Jones, I already got my money back. Pure math. You know what I mean? Even if I pay for
Yeah,
Microsoft
but
Game Pass for
it
6
depends
months,
how many months, man.
even if it was 6 months,
Yeah.
that's 60 euros. You know, pure math. And I play one game that's 70 euros.
Yeah,
I
but
already
the-
win. I'm already winning. I'm winning.
Yeah, I understand for that perspective, right? But this is not ideal for the
I
developers.
don't care.
And it's
Oh,
not
Stalker
ideal
2 is
for,
also included. Why did I? Can I refund
in Game
it?
Pass.
Yeah. Can I refund it?
Well, if you have not played it and it's within 30 days, you can refund it and then play it on.
I'm gonna
on
refund
Gamma
that
Pass.
shit. Yeah. Why?
So yeah, I think that Game Pass is good for testing games, basically, or playing
it's a-
games.
if it's
and
a
then when you
single
really
player
want to
game-
support, yeah.
There's nothing to test.
Well, it depends if you want to replay it. So what happens often is, you don't know for Starfield. I'm going to take the example of Starfield, right? Is you could have bought Starfield on Steam.
Yeah.
And this is what people were doing for most of the Bethesda games. They were just like buying all the Morrowind as they were releasing and saying, "Oh, you know what? This is gonna be good." But for Starfield, a lot of the people just like straight up use Game Pass because they said, "Oh, no, I don't know, man." And most of them were right. And I still don't understand to this day people kind of defending Starfield because it's an objectively bad game. There's very little redeeming quality. Technologically speaking, it's an absolute mess. And even if you like space stuff, at that point, that goes way beyond what you can imagine. It's just shit. The character are not interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there's
the
so many
first time that I
games.
played that thing,
Game Pass
Yeah,
is
there are so many
legendary.
games
Oh
that are
shit, I
much
didn't
better.
know. Oh shit. I hope I can get a refund because I only played it for 5 minutes and now I listed it that it didn't work. So maybe I get
Yes.
because I bought it pre-ordered it in October. But sometimes
Mhm.
Steam refunds they are more lenient with time, like the purchase time
Yeah.
than gameplay
Steam-
time.
Steam is like 30-day window and
It's
less
14
than 2
day,
hour
but
playtime.
they
14 day?
yeah, it's 14, but they sometimes still allow that, but sometimes they don't. So
Yeah.
I had one time when I
Well-
bought this game Carmageddon, and it was super scuffed, and I asked for a refund 6 months later, and they still refunded me everything because it was so broken.
Yeah, there's something for broken games. I had the same
It was
thing
playable,
for,
but it was just
one
so
of the
bad.
GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah, for one of the GTA, for me, it straight up didn't work, so I refunded it. But afterwards, I regretted it because I learned that there was actually a mod in order to make it work, and now you can't find the original version without sailing the high seas, and that was the original version. But that's what Steam kind of stick to their guns. So even if the developer decide to delist the thing, you still have access to the download of the game. Which is
I
kind of
like yeah like I
clever,
I don't really care or believe about like people like having like this weird obsession of owning games. It's especially when they're
Mhm.
digital. It's like, are you brain rotten or like what's going on under your skull or in your skull? Like
Yeah.
it's a digital thing. Why do you need to own everything? Like that's why Game Pass is legendary. Like you rent this game. Let's say this Indiana Jones game. I played once. Stalker 2. I played through this game once. I will never play it again. Excellent for me. Some people, of course, they play
Yeah,
this game over and over again. I understand, but
But again, it depends. It really highly depends if you're going to replay the thing.
Also,
I think that's
like you said yourself, if you are going to replay this game, you're not gonna replay this
Yeah.
game next month.
Yeah.
You play it first time on Pass, and then next time you want to play that, you either subscribe to the Pass if it's still there on the Pass, or you just get the game
Yeah.
on sale, which is gonna be like
Yeah.
half the price or even more. Because
This
usually
is
single player games get discounted 25 to 50% 1 or 2 months later.
yeah. That's the thing. That's what I was talking about
Mhm.
there. Where and when I'm talking about demo, it's just like sometimes you might not have the time to play the game entirely as you have your Game Pass running out, and then you take 1 month every 6 months in order to complete the thing. But the problem of Game Pass, which was the problem a little bit of Netflix to an extent, was the fact that the roster of games that you have available
Yeah, it
always
changes.
rotates.
Yeah.
So instead of having something where you say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pay that, and I'm going to be guaranteed to have a good time because there's at least I know that there's like a title that I'm going to love anyway and play, and I don't have it on another platform for whatever reason, right?"
Well,
That might not be the case
but
the next
it
time
works the
tomorrow.
same way as we just discussed. Like, for example, I got Witcher 3 when it was released. It was 25 euros when my
Yeah,
friend gifted this game to me. I also got all the DLC for like 20 euros. I have still not played it very much.
yeah,
And now you can get it 90%
dude.
off
I need.
during sale. You can get it
Yeah, you get
almost
it
for
for like
free.
3 euros.
Yeah. So
You get it for 3 euros. I know.
basically I still lost money for owning this shit. And that's the
Yeah,
same thing. You
yeah, yeah.
can
I
just,
know.
it's like, sometimes you have no time to play something. It's just like, don't bother with that. If it's on the pass, play it on the pass. And like, make time if you want to play games. Just
Yeah,
focus on taking the time, because otherwise, if you buy something, you're like, oh, I'm gonna play it, and it's gonna end up in the backlog, and then you're gonna get a new game, and you're
yeah.
just losing money, but in larger kind of sums of chunks.
But it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because that was also during the release of Baldur's Gate 3. People were just like asking, "Oh, is it coming to Game Pass?" And then you had the lead developer that went and said, "No, this is a premium game. It's not going to be on Game Pass. It's going to be sold exactly the same price, whatever happens, because it took us a long time and a lot of money to make. And it's just like you're going to get 160 hours out of this. So no."
At
It's just
least.
like I found that answer to be incredibly based,
I
but he's
mean,
right to an extent.
yeah, I mean, that's 100% right. And only now, like a year or two later, it's two, I don't know. Only now, Baldur's Gate is like 25% off.
Yeah, and
You
let's
didn't
go on
really
Steam
you
because
didn't really win by waiting. For
yeah, and
example, with Doom 2016, I remember
yeah,
the game was released in May, and in June it was 50% off.
dude, it's just like on Steam DB. So I'm checking right now the number of players that you have in Baldur's Gate. They still have around 100,000 player playing Baldur's Gate right now
That's a boss move.
for a single player game. It's just like yes, you can play it multiplayer,
Yeah.
but this is fucking nuts.
Good.
And the
And it's
release
like a
was
year,
now
yeah, a year ago. A little
July
bit, yeah.
23.
I have
So
different
it's more than a
information.
year ago.
The 3rd of August it was actually released on Steam.
Yeah, yeah, because well, you had the early access period. So early access was in October 2020.
Yeah.
But it was broken. It didn't work, so nobody played it until the real release. Where almost 875,000 concurrent players. That's a crazy number. Those guys went hard.
Yeah, and how many players does Vanguard have?
Vanguard.
Yeah.
Dude, Dragon Age. Veilguard.
Or Veilguard, whatever.
Yeah. 12,000 right now, and the max was 89,000.
Deserved.
That didn't go well.
Thank God it didn't go well. That kind of trash should just like it should never do well. Which is a very like it's insane because the Veilguard, the gameplay itself looks very very good. I watched some gameplay when Time played it and so on. The gameplay, the combat, how fluid the game is, it's very nice actually. It's amazing. Like it's very good. But then you have the cutscenes, and it's a single player story game, and you play this game for story,
Yeah.
right? But the writing is ironically the thing that completely ruins this game. And it's not because I will be against this LGBTQ thing. It's not about that. It's mainly because it doesn't fit the universe at all. And you could argue that hey, it's a fantasy world and things are different and so on. But it just doesn't fit, you know. It just looks weird because the whole game is very action packed. Like it's a game that doesn't need genders and this kind of stuff, to be honest. And if you want to have that kind of stuff, okay, but you have to make it in a way that everyone who plays this game can still have fun. So they failed to do that, and they are just like making you choke on this gender kind of, I don't know, this thing, right? And that's the main reason why everyone hates on the story and everything, because it's just forced. It's not natural. If you build a world around this but if you build a world around this in a way that it's fluid, if it's smooth, if it's logical, then people wouldn't have that kind of problem. Sorry, yeah.
But I think this is the problem of writing, essentially, and
it is.
We see that for a lot of different things. If the things are well written, it's rarely a problem.
Yeah.
But once things start to get badly written, but it's just like most of the people are okay with whatever the hell, actually. Be it a hero, which is just like whatever you want. It's just like, who gives a shit at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, like Mass Effect games didn't have this problem, because in Mass Effect you could also be like oriented in a way what floated your boat, essentially, as far as I remember. I haven't played it.
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
remember
do you can do whatever the fuck you wanted a bit more. But
it
I
was
think
funny
it's
and no
just
one
like
cared. It was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that because you know, you have always that question of heroes, and you know, some people make that a problem for gender equality to an extent. But it always boils down to the point that you pointed out: writing. If a character is written well, the character can be whatever.
Yeah.
You know, gay, lesbian, transgender, you know, asexual, alien, whatever the fuck you want.
Other.
It's just, yeah, no, but it's just like you don't care about what the character is, as long as the writing is actually roping in whatever on the trait of the character well.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, that character has those motivations because, you know, that's who they are attracted to.
Yeah.
This is how they grew up. That's their background to it.
Yeah. And I mean,
sometimes you can touch at sensitive subjects, right?
I mean, it's not like there hasn't been people in all kinds of views and, you know, ways over the history, right? There has been since the beginning all kinds of orientations and feelings, and, you know, it's not a new thing essentially, but it's not that like massively scaled. So when you have some characters, and like, I mean, even if you want to have a guild or whatever, you know, with rules, and you
Yeah.
could basically make some very cool stories. Like, hey, there's a clan of like those kind of people, or that kind of people, you know, and you can make it very interesting and engaging. And instead of forcing everyone to pull a bar for misgendering someone, you know, you could just make this thing very epic, very interesting, and also educational to the people, but not like forcing you to care. And if you want, you can like ignore that 100%. Like, you know, that will be the best kind of thing. So like I understand it's a fantasy game. You can have everything and anything in it, but it needs to be tasteful. And it can't be majority, because in real life that isn't a majority either. You know?
Well, you can build but that's what you said. You can build a fantasy world
Yeah.
where it would be the majority, right?
Okay, yeah.
But the important point is, and it's just like it boils down to the same thing. If the thing is well written and engaging, people are going to be, this is a cool story that I'm interested into. I'm interested in that character's arc because I care about that character. If the character comes to you as being a dick, then you're just going to look at the thing and go, I don't know, man. I don't feel good about this. And
Yeah.
that's how it can go. Man, that Wolfenstein comment. God damn. Get them. But yeah, that's one of the example where, you know, this is very obviously satire. But okay, in parentheses, I understand also, given the current political context and the fact that, you know, video games are art, and I always find that funny when people always say, oh, keep politics out of my games, and the first thing that they are going to quote is, oh, I love Metal Gear. And I'm just like, bro, have you listened to what they say in the Metal Gear story? It's just like 90% of it is politics. There is nothing in Metal Gear which has to do, yeah, okay, jumps and does really weird shit. And then you have Raiden that looks like a metrosexual. That's another story. But you know, that's different things, right?
Yeah. I mean, everything has to be tasteful, you know. Politics can be fun. The gender thing, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound like disrespectful. That's why I say thing. But the idea of having like transsexual and all those like orientations, it's like some games do it very well. They have one character that is like very, very rich in every aspect, and it's like interesting, and you want to learn more about this story. And that's how it should have been with Dragon Age as well. Instead of like sitting you down, having those endless conversations about how bad you are for like misgendering or not understanding this, and just getting like scolded by the game for not being into this is ridiculous. Like, what I've seen, most of the cutscenes where you just have a dialogue with like 2 or 3 or 4 party members, you sit on a chair and they're scolding you for not knowing the terms. And it's like,
yeah,
have a cutscene of like someone cutting the head off like from a dragon, you know? It's a Dragon Age game after. Like, show me the real gameplay, not just some like shit that like I don't even care about. I just want some like, I want some cool combat shit, like, and lore and some drama, not some like being scolded by other NPCs that I'm terrible for not knowing the pronouns even.
But I think, yeah, that's definitely a point. But I would like to touch on a point that Chanobi was talking about. So there is actually a game about, quote unquote, transgender struggles. But the whole game is oriented around it. So the gameplay is about that.
What's the game?
And it's called Diary of a Spaceport Janitor.
Okay.
Which is a very small game. But the point was to try to have the player, for somebody, because it's very difficult for us to relate to what is happening in somebody else's mind.
Yep.
And even more difficult if that person feels very bad about how they are in their own bodies and the struggles that they might have. So what they wanted to purvey with the with the game and message to the player was, it's an eternal struggle, and you feel like you're always kind of shape shifting around. And they did it in a very efficient way. Um, the game itself is a bit of a struggle. That's why I always recommend people to play that game with a guide. But the spirit of it was really, really good. And the art was kind of original. It was done in kind of a 2D spritey 3D world. And it's an original game that talks about those things. Senua,
Well
um,
played, yeah.
I can't tell the whole title. Yes, that's a very good game too, but which talks about those mental challenge. Uh, Hellblade, yeah, Hellblade Senua.
I tried to
That
play this game once, but
touches,
it's very slow. I guess you need some like
yeah.
you
You need to
need to
be
take
in the
some
right
time off,
mindset.
yeah, because it's very
Yes,
slow.
it,
It's very beautiful, but it's like you
and
need to
again,
just vibe.
those games are not necessarily, I would say, mainstream to an extent, but they are part of the medium where you try to convey something different, right? Because we could have the same fucking cut slop all the time, but it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting to have things that are a little bit more interesting
Well, I
and
mean, it is a
try to tell
beautiful
a message
game.
which is a
Yeah,
little bit different.
I have nothing against that. I think it's a game I wanted to play, and I mean I have so many games that I want to play on stream, but I never have the time. Shit, so bad.
Yeah.
I need to take some time to start streaming more games as well, and so on and so forth, which is outside of the topic of what we speak right now. But yeah, it's
Yeah, but I
it,
don't think it's too far off.
yeah, yeah. I don't really care too much about different stories or like personally I don't really mind having this woke stuff in games, but only if it's like done in a very very tasty manner. Like if it's fun, I don't mind at all. You can have what you want. It doesn't like if there's a woke thing or like gay scene or whatever, that doesn't make I'm not gonna play the game, right? I don't mind that kind of stuff, but what I dislike is being like, you know, thrown this thing and like they just make you choke on that kind of thing. They are forcing you to like have this, and that used to be a thing with movies as well. Like, and it still is kind of. I think it's being it's in a slight decline now when it comes to movies, but there was a moment where like every single movie had like a trans or like a gay scene, and it's just like you're being forced to watch that kind of stuff, and it's like so unnecessary. It's so weird. It like
When the characters are not, and that's always the thing, if the
yeah
characters are not well written, that
yeah
always sticks out as a sore thumb,
yeah
and it feels, it just like it feels unnecessary and gratuitous to an
yeah.
extent.
And the same thing, like games that don't need this shit, like Overwatch, and even Paladins had this. It's like in Overwatch there was some character that after a patch, they became like gay or something. In Paladins it was as well. When the woke thing started like to be more amplified, there was just
Yeah,
one
but bro, that's
character.
normal. They came out of the closet. That's on brand.
But why do I need this information when it's a game that has no lore essentially? At least no playable lore. Why do I need
Just
this?
like
Why do I need this?
because Rule 34 cares about the lore, man. That's the problem.
And the developers are really focusing on this subculture. Right. Well, sorry I didn't know, but
Well, partially, it's just like that's why Overwatch exploded, right? If you had not like all the Rule 34 stuff, Overwatch wouldn't have been as widely popular as it has become.
Have you guys bought Skywalker Saga? It's epic. On Epic. What is Skywalker Saga?
Skywalker Saga.
Is that Star Wars?
Is
Oh, it
that
is. It's the Lego
Lego?
game. I need to get that.
Lego? Yeah, I got it actually.
I need to get it too then. Yeah, I'm never gonna play it, but might as well.
I'm never going to get it, but
Hey, a free game is a free game.
yeah, no, I have the complete saga, the Clone Wars, the Force Awakens. Time to get the Skywalker Saga too.
I know, I'm never gonna play it.
What the fuck?
Happened.
No, I just like, okay, let me
The Epic has some
Save that
update. It looks
screenshot.
so different.
okay, there's a I don't think that this is necessarily safe for stream, so I'm going to put that on the Discord. Wait for it. This is gonna be good. Checking the community on Steam. that's the shit that I'm welcome with. Which is fucking hilarious. Okay.
Bruh.
I put it on my Discord, so the people that are in chat and also know my Discord can just like go and see it. It's in general. This is a piece of art.
So if you haven't joined Woda's Discord, now's the chance, right?
Yeah, and you
Now's
should
the
join
chance.
Nested also.
Yeah, but this is wild.
Shadow V, you need to come on the Discord. So it's over there. But yeah, and actually, this is going to tie in an awkward manner in a thing that is coming for all of us if we've not updated yet. Is just like Windows 11 is coming.
Windows 11, I've been using it for like 2 years now.
You already have been using because
Yeah.
my system was not Windows 11 compatible when they had those weird requirements, but now I need to update the whole thing. And this is not great. I'm not looking forward passing to Windows 11.
I've been using Windows 11 since 21 for 3 years now.
How do you feel about it?
It's a
Do
piece
you like
of
it?
scheisse.
Do you dislike it?
It's the same as Windows 10 but worse in a weird way.
So it's Windows 11 is just like 2 step forward, 3 step backwards.
Yeah, it's like it has some extra shit that you don't need. Like when you press right click, then it gives you some new interface, and if you want the old interface, then you need to
Yeah.
scroll, like go and click on the most bottom thing, like take the oldest, like show me more options. So when you want to copy something,
Yeah.
you need to right click and then press on the show more options, and now you can paste and copy and open in terminal, so on, or create a new folder. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. Like you can also create a new folder
Yeah.
and stuff like that with the new one as well, but like if you want to use
Yeah.
some additional software like WinRAR or whatever, 7-zip, then you need to right click on a folder,
7-zip.
zip, and then you press in the bottom show more options, and now
Yeah.
you can use the external programs like extract or like
You can
open
use
as
external
an
problems.
Yeah.
You can not restrain yourself to your own problems. You can import problems from outside. A new Windows 11 feature. You had problems, now you can get more.
Windows 9. We never had Windows 9, did we?
No, it just like they were just like. I think that they decided
Shinobi
to
is like
skip.
is using some USSR bootleg Russian copy of Windows 9.
Yeah, it's just like, brother, you can use Windows 9, no problem. It's
It
just like
start
the
opens
if you
up
see
with the
the
Russian
website.
anthem.
Yeah, I was going to say the website is just like a 1990s website for Windows 9 with like a Russian emblem in the background.
The star, yeah.
The start button is not like the normal window, it's just like a small USSR flag. And each time you open, it's the Russian anthem that
Yeah,
plays.
yeah, for like 10 seconds. Yeah.
Each time you press start, it's just like
Oh boy, Shinobi, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Oh boy. I mean,
oh, is that
Windows 9.
Windows 9? Because he's not using it.
A Chinese
Because
bootleg
now you
copy.
can game on Linux. Gaming on Linux is becoming a viable option. And
Uh,
also talking about that, the Steam OS release is coming nearer and nearer. So that will be interesting.
Linux is still very jank. Like I've tried to use Linux, it's still very jank. Like I've tried to use Linux like every other year I'm getting into Linux as well. I have dual boot. And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like it's still shit. I use Mint mostly. And it still like
Yeah.
lacks in every department. Like Windows is bad, but if you have a good PC, then usually you can brute force to all the resource hog things and features, right?
Yeah.
If you have a shit PC or like a laptop, then obviously Linux is the way to go, but it's still like many games are actually not playable, even if you use Proton and whatever alternatives to bypass that stuff. It's still very jank. You can it's and
So
you
the
cannot use Unity, you cannot use Visual Studio, you
yeah.
cannot use any of the Adobe shit. You can't use Word. It's such a piece of shit. It's crazy.
So it depends. It depends on your usage.
Yeah,
So
exactly, 100%.
it's really usage dependent. But the example that I would give is the Steam Deck, for instance, which is the only handheld that we have right now, which is really full Linux oriented.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that thing is packing a punch for what it is. And you have the other handhelds, which are running Windows and usually perform way worse than the Steam Deck, or need to be a much higher price point and need to have features that are just like bloating it all the way to hell. So this is why I'm kind of excited about the idea of um, Linux gaming, because also at that point you have much more people from the community that gets around to fix problems,
Yeah.
and it might get people to actually develop and all doing things. Shanobi, we're counting backwards. So Windows 98, it's just like that will be in like 200 years now.
I mean, I support Linux and I think it's very good that we have Linux, but it's just too bad it's still not on bar with Windows. But it depends on use case and so on. And with the Steam OS coming out publicly, it's a very welcome thing, because you have all those Raspberry Pi, all those all that kind of shit that you can just now start using the Steam OS, which is going to be very, very good for gaming indeed. Because Steam Deck is like, again, Valve is again just for the lulz basically pioneering its way to make gaming as a whole better, like with this
Yeah,
VR
but I
thing,
don't
with
think.
this DLC shit, and now with the Steam
Yeah,
OS.
but the point is also now I'm going to play the opponent of Valve there. The one of the only reasons that they're in there is to increase the market share quite significantly,
Yeah.
because they understood that Sony and Nintendo dropped the fucking ball at every turn.
Yeah.
Because what happened is we were buying games, right? But each time that we buy a new system, it's just like, yo, brother, you see your old games? Fuck that. Buy the new ones. And it's the same one, but it's on the new system, brother. So you need to buy the new one. And they basically break your whole system for reason XYZ.
Yeah.
This is well known on DS, etc. For Nintendo. And then people get pissed at that because you can only do that so much before people remember that they've been robbed from their games, right? So if you find yourself in an ecosystem where you can still play your games, then you're going to say, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. Because at that point, I find myself being able to be on the go or at home or, even stream remotely my games instead of watching somebody on Twitch playing, for example. It's a possibility then that you have. And people are kind of open to those type of things.
No, I
And
think it's
again,
good.
that's in all favor of Valve in this case. But it's not necessarily misaligned with what the consumer might want.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like Valve doesn't really need to do anything. Basically, they could just chill out for like for however long they want, and not much is gonna happen because they're still the most dominant kind of platform on PC. Well, the good thing is, like you also mentioned, you're actually quite right because having the Steam OS that's gonna conquer the handheld market is also gonna help against Epic and other platforms. That's also true indeed. Because now people are like, I don't have the handheld yet, but I rather get this shit on Steam because if I ever get a handheld then or Steam Deck, then at least I can play it on Steam Deck. Because with Epic you can't really play the games on Steam Deck. There are workarounds and shit, but it's uncomfortable.
You can. You
Yeah.
can.
But it's not
But
easy.
it's not the most practical because
Yeah.
Epic again is not friendly
Yeah.
to that extent. Where
That's what I'm
Valve
saying.
is actually you can sideload any type of apps that you want
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
Steam Deck.
You can also
Basically,
install
that's one of
Windows
the
if you
things that I
want.
would like to. Yes, the thing that I would like to underline here, which is very important with overall the Steam Deck, is you own the hardware. They tell you you want to reinstall the thing, you want to install a different version of Linux, you want to do something completely different, go ahead.
Yeah.
They give you guides also to modify your hardware if you want. They are going to tell you maybe you shouldn't, but if you want to do it, you are open to do it, and that's the main difference there where Valve's position themselves. And I think that they garnered also a great support from the open source community that is then keen on helping them achieve things like with Proton, Proton compatibilities, etc. So one needs to look forward to those type of things because I think it's going to shake up a little bit the status quo for certain things and then get people to be a little bit friendlier to the consumer.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we need, right? Otherwise, we are all going to be doomed by Microsoft and all the rebels that's just gonna,
Absolutely.
enslave
fucked.
us, basically. Well,
Yes.
already are, kinda. But, that's why we need more open source, more everything, I mean, open source in general has been in a very heavy decline. Even like not just software in general, but like games as well. Like you can no longer mod games because we have so many Unreal Engine games and Unity games and other games that have their own engine and no tools. And the days of having multiple games is essentially, well, not over, but very close to being over because the amount of games that you can actually mod, it's not looking good because many games are made with Unreal and Unity.
It's kind of coming back to an extent because people have understood also that what kept some games alive, and that's I think one of the thing that Valve also has embraced fully is there would not have been as many or as much survival of Half-Life 1 and 2 if both of those games weren't moddable as they were. And they profited greatly from just people willing to pour their time and energy in order to make maps, in order to do things. They had that thing for CS, right?
Yeah.
Where they paid developers or map designers because they made things that got integrated into the game. And they contacted the guys and they said, hey, we want to buy. And those guys were like 14 years old or 16 years old. And they were saying, oh, yeah, we like what you just did. Can we buy your map in order to put it in the game?
Yeah, but
So
well, that's what I mean. It's like we are running out of game companies that actually have their own engine. That's the
True.
issue. That's the reason why we can't have mods nowadays. Because when a
And then
game is
with
made
like
on Unity, you can't mod that unless the developer makes tools that allow you to make maps or something. But you can mod that essentially.
yeah,
Unreal games you cannot mod Unreal Engine games. So
yeah.
the days of having Stalker 2 mods is basically over. You can't have the level of mods that you have on Stalker 1, for example. The new Witcher
Yeah,
game
but
is gonna come out on Unreal Engine 5. So on.
think about the non-safe for work anime games that we have on Steam though, thanks to Unreal Engine, which run at 3 FPS because it's just like so crap. But yeah, I totally agree with you there. But that's one of the problem of Epic in general and the Unreal Engine is there's like a lot of flashy stuff that comes with it, but
I
it
don't really
feels like
like
it's
how it
always kind
looks.
of trying.
I don't like Unreal
Huh?
Engine. I don't like Unreal Engine.
Yeah,
It has this kind of very sloppy feel, and not many games can make it feel good. Some can, but the many games you're like, oh, it's an Unreal Engine game.
S- so you can have some stuff, but I think that the thing is the underlying technologies are not necessarily bad. um but again, the fact that you don't really have full control and you find yourself with a bloated chip
Yeah,
always leads to heavily unoptimized games that get
yeah,
released,
and also,
and then
well,
everybody's pissed.
because the main thing is with those engines as well is because the developers like bought in to just work on the engines that are already there, and the skill set is lower and lower, and more of
Hmm.
out of the box items come out. That's why games that are like 30 or 20 years old have better AI, which is funny because of the limited resources in every single aspect that we had. The AI is still better in old games most of the time, which shouldn't be the case. Like the best AI is in games like that are like 2007 or 8, and a little bit maybe further away as well. But most of the games that come out nowadays, when they're made with Unreal Engine or Unity, you can see the AI is super bad. They use out of the box systems. They don't know how to use them properly. It's just like
Yeah.
insanely bad. And the code is also bad because there is a lot of visual programming being done, which is an insane resource
Hmm.
hog if it's not done perfectly. And well, obviously coders are not doing perfectly well anything, especially when they have the visual programming in use, because most people who don't know how to code don't
Yeah.
really care about how shit works unless it works. And because you can't see the code, you don't know how many loops it does, you don't know how it exactly works. You just like you put
Yeah.
pieces together and you don't see how many times it runs. You're like, it kind of works, it's all right, and it is all right. But when you put like 99% of the other features together as well, then
Yeah.
that's when it gets bad.
Yeah. That definitely, but it's always the problem of optimization for anything, right?
Yeah,
Um, and optimizing code in general is an art. It's an art form, and it
Yeah.
often requires you to understand how the CPU works, how the GPU works, how even the programming language that you have is going to perform some operations, right? And you need to leverage the positives, or at least the advantages, of whatever the tool that you're using. And as you pointed, it's just like people just like try to cobble some shit together, and sometimes it can be good enough, but it's just like, is it good for people to actually play with it and actually interact with it? And this is where it kind of breaks a bit the camel back, right? Where the it becomes very sloppy, and then there is a diminishing return for the consumer at that point. But you could say, oh yeah, but the thing is now cross compatible. I can in one single click compile this for every single modern console.
Yeah.
But I would argue that every single modern console is basically a computer now. It doesn't have special fit for purpose hardware. Yeah, most of the time it's just a slightly different single board computer. So yeah, that's so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. I think it's time to wrap up. What you think?
Yep. Yep. We talked about a lot of things today on Quit
Indeed.
Talking.
Quit talking.
Yeah, but I just like, hey, you need to circumvent a little bit of the automated censorship by Twitch, because they don't like naughty words. They don't like naughty words.
So the main takeaway: don't invest in celebrity coins. Don't buy the hawk.
Yeah.
If you see,
You need to chew on that thing. That's very important. But you don't buy the hawk.
yeah, don't buy the hawk. Right. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna stream tomorrow as well, 9 p.m. same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna
Me
stream
too.
as well? Yeah.
I will be on from 4 p.m. Central European time until whenever. So probably I will pass the baton to Nested.
All right. So
All
thanks for
right,
hanging out.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining, and see you all very, very soon.
Yeah.
Ciao.